Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity potties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7 star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. It's game on. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is good that's good in life. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my God, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult.
If you want it, you gotta go get it.
This is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your place. This is your opportunity.
This is my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today. It's your dream. If we want to have it, reach your butt up and make it happen. If we want to have it, rise and grind.
You still got work to do. Stay on that basketball court. Stay on that football field. It's grind season, homie.
What just happened? So many people out there fail, not because they don't have the ability. It's because they don't have the heart to go through adversity.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
You'll go through some failures.
When you're in that darkness, you want to sit there and wait for the light to come, but you can't wait. The only way out is to step forward, to face your fears, to become your own light. There's going to be a lot of times y'all about to fail. We are all a work in progress. But in that moment, I want you to remember the power of you. You will change the world.
Even when you're struggling, even when you're discouraged, and you feel like other people have given up on you, don't ever give up on yourself.
The indomitable will, if you have a belief, you can do something. The only way you grow that, like in the gym, you grow your muscles by actually exercising. To grow the individual will to become something, you must get comfortable with fear and failure. They must be your best friends. They're the only one that moves that needle of life. Every hero you guys had was called an idiot, crazy, a loser. You must break society's status quo. Status quo is normality. It's alive but not living. It's death on a overrides thousands of people with just intent. Safety, comfort zones are dead zones. You have to continue to push yourself because your true potential will never be matched, guys.
Nobody is going to hit as hard as life, but it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits.
The future rewards those who press on. With patient and firm determination, I'm going to press on. I don't have time to feel sorry for
Ay,
myself.
sinira mo yan.
I'm going to press on. Stop complaining. Stop crying. We are going to press on. We've got work to do.
What's your why? What motivates you? What pushes you? What drives you? And if that thing is internal, if nobody has to call you, if nobody has to prod you, if nobody has to reward you, if nobody has to give you anything, if you are self-motivated and self-regulated, you can have it, you can be it, you can do it. Take ownership. Take extreme ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Get control of your ego. Take ownership of everything in your world, the good and the bad. Take ownership of your mistakes. Take ownership of your shortfalls. Take ownership of your problems. And then take ownership of the solutions that will get those problems solved. Take ownership of your mission. Take ownership of your job, of your team, of your future, and take ownership of your life and lead to victory. It's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to, and you work with the system, that you have the vision and never give up, that you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again, and that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen, and that it's hard. Easy is not an option. And when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I win.
Hello, Power Jeng. Hello, Power. Tumatawag. Okay.
Ano po, maingay si Sabi.
Oo nga eh, narinig ko. Welcome po.
Hello po.
Power, start na tayo. Susunod yung mga iba, no? Yung iba nasa YouTube. Okay lang.
Sige
So,
po.
mute na kita. 2-3
Sige po.
minutes. Oh, sige. 2-3 minutes mag-start na tayo. Sa taas.
You are not a brand.
Giving up is the birth of regret. The reality of life is that we will all hear more no's than we hear yeses. In the summer of 2009, I was 19 years old, working a summer position at Target between my freshman and sophomore year at undergraduate school. I was working in the women's clothing department, and I noticed a lady staring at me across the aisle. I figured she probably had a few screws loose, so I attempted to ignore her very intense stares. She eventually manages to make her way a little bit closer and closer to me where I was working until she eventually walks up to me and says hello. I say the famous Target quote, which is, "Hi, may I help you find something?"
Okay. All right. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to our training for tonight. Welcome to those people who are here right now, joining us in Zoom, and the rest is watching us live on YouTube. Okay, so tonight's training is a very special training because this is one of the most important topics, or rather skills, that we as Forever Business owners need to learn in order to scale or expand our business. So for you who are joining in tonight, you must be very new to the business, or you must been in a few months or years already, but is currently active or would like to scale up your business and would like to maximize your potential. Okay, so the the sequence of our training today is: number one, I will be discussing the audience. So that pertains to the generation of each age group and how we should communicate to them. Number two, we're going to discuss the four-color personality. On this way, you will learn which color you are, what's your psychology, and what is the color of the person you're talking to, and how you're going to adjust and adapt to make that conversation effective and get that person to buy for your products and even join your business. And number three, you will learn the action plan. So my part today, I will discuss the first two topics, and then the action plan will be discussed by Jeffrey. So let me begin. All right. So on this slide, you will see the three different generations right now. And here you will see Generation X, Generation Y, and Generation Z. So Generation X consists of people who were born between 1965 to 1980, who are at least 40 to 55 years old as of this year. While Generation Y are commonly called the millennials. And if you're born between 1980 to 1994, or between 25 years old to 39 years old, you are still called a millennial. Now, the younger generation, which is a very active generation right now, is the Generation Z. They are born between 1996 to 2015, between 5 to 24 years old. So I will discuss each and every generation, their difference, and how we're going to approach them when we meet them. All right. So here on this table, we will classify them depending on their type of communication. So for example, you're talking to a Generation X that's between 40 to 55 years old as of this year. The best communication method with them is email or calls, simply because at their age, they are used to, and this is the common type of communication they got used to. So if you are sending a proposal of a product or a business, better send it via email, all right? Or call them, because they want everything in that method. However, millennials or the Generation Y, they are much into their phones, and they widely use Facebook Messenger or Instagram. So if you want to attract millennials, make sure that you are communicating with them via Messenger or via Instagram. If you want to attract this type of people, you can market in Facebook stories or Insta stories, or even on Facebook posts or Instagram posts. While the Generation Z, they're more on to the latest social media, that is YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. So you'll notice here, these are videos. They like more of authentic people, showing to them on a video a product or the business. And they also want these quick videos as well. So if you want to send them an information, better send them rather a YouTube link or a quick video information, Or if you want to communicate with them through this social media. You can see quite the difference on these generations. Now, number 2 is the communication. For Generation X, they want a hub and spoke type of communication. They want something like a direct type of communication or in a procedure. They're very formal. That's why, if you notice, they love emails. And in that email, it's not like a chat box or a messenger wherein you email one sentence and then you expect them to reply to you right away. No, that's why if you are talking to the Generation X, make sure in your email you have ample information so that when you send it to them, they get a proper and direct information. So for example, you are emailing somebody who is a Generation X, you might put a greeting, attach a product catalog or a product flyer, depending on which product you're offering, or a business leaflet as an attachment. And then you can also include links, like website links, so that they can also refer to that. And you have to express your direct intention in the email right away. And make sure you leave your contact details as well. That's very important. Okay. Now, for the Generation Y, or what we call the millennials, they're very collaborative. They love working with a group. So, in this type of people, if you want to send them across a message, you can have them probably invite them to a group business presentation or on a group event. They love this because as long as they are with people around them, sharing ideas, letting them express their opinions, they love to communicate that way. Okay? Now, for the Generation Z, they're very electro-social and highly connected, meaning they're more into electronics. If you notice, Generation Z right now, they're always on their phones. They're always on their gadgets. And for them, their fingers work faster than their mouth. So if you want to send them a message or to reach out to them, better reach them through a social media platform or electronically, right? And the great thing about them is that they're very fast on their phones. They don't leave the house without their mobiles. And if they're in the house, they would take their mobiles or gadgets inside the toilet with them. That's how electrosocial they are. So you can really connect with them easily. Okay. So number 3, job changing. What I mean by this is that how do they perceive changing careers? In our business in Forever, we also offer the business opportunity. Now, for Generation X, if you offer them an opportunity to change career, for them, they understand this and it's necessary to grow. So they're very open-minded about that. Now, for Generation Y or the millennials, changing careers is just like part of their daily routine. Because millennials, they are used to hopping from one job to the other until they find the job that suits them, or the job that will, or the career that will enhance their skills. All right, so they're very open-minded to that. That's why most of the members or most of our team are also millennials, and they're very open-minded to our business as well. All right, so guys, please mute your... Okay, Mike, okay, welcome. Now for Generation Z, they're very particular with the career that they're gonna go into. Don't get me wrong, they're very open-minded to doing a business, which is very good, but they would like to look into a business or into a career that will improve their flexibility. Because they're very independent, they like to see if that business will allow them to do whatever they want. And so they're very, very attracted to ads that are no boss or no time card, or you can travel in any parts of the world, you can fulfill your dream in any time, stuff like this. Anything that will give them the freedom, this is very, very attractive to them. So by that, you would know how to approach a Generation Z. Now, in terms of financial values, Generation X, for them, it's a medium long term. They're a credit savvy and it's a life stage debt. So what do I mean by this? For them, savings or earning money, they would only like to at least save between, for the current, up to in the next 5-10 years. They look forward to retirement, all right? And for them, being in credit, or for example, loaning something or being in debt, and if they need to borrow money, they understand that they need to do this as part of fulfilling that medium to long-term goals. So when you offer them the business, most of the Generation X, probably they would swipe a credit card to start with the 2cc. They're open to that. Or if they don't have the money, they're willing to borrow from somebody just to start that business. These are those people. Okay? Now, Generation Y or millennials, for them, they believe in a financial value of short-term wants, credit-dependent, and lifestyle debt. So what do we mean by that? Millennials are more attracted to starting probably a business or purchasing something or saving for something that they want immediately. For example, when you offer them the business and you show them that you're able to buy, let's say, your favorite car in the next in the next 6 months to 1 year, or you were able to buy your favorite bag, or you were able to move into a better flat or better accommodation, all right? So if these people have the same goals, they're easily attracted to our business, okay? Because they would do whatever needs to be done to achieve something that they really, really, really want for a short term. And they are not afraid, most of them, they are not afraid of credit. That's why most of the millennials, they're already born into a generation of credit cards, right? And most of them, they have a lifestyle debt. Most of them, they really focus on the goal of having a very good lifestyle. Some of them may be lavish, but most of them just to feel good and look good. All right. So when you approach this type of people, you can focus on what the benefits of the business can do for them. Probably they can get their own home, buy their dream car, or probably pay their credit cards or loans, or change the lives of their family. All right. So this is really, really attractive to them. Now, Generation Z, the younger generation, they're very impulsive with purchases, and they're more on e-stores or e-commerce, and they have a lifelong debt. Okay, so right now, since Generation Z are more electrosocial or more into their phones and into their gadgets, once they see something and they really, really like it, and then they have the money, they can just buy just like that immediately. They don't blink anymore. They just buy. And they love purchasing products into e-stores or e-commerce. That's why if you talk to a Generation Z, you have to let them know that we have a website. We have an online shopping. Immediately, if they want to buy something, share to them a link and let them know how they can shop online and have it delivered to their home. Don't invite the Generation Z to come to the office and then go to the counter and purchase products. No, they don't like that. They love everything fast. And remember, they're very impulsive. You have to be there with their momentum. So these people are really, really good customers. All right. So the next one is purchase influence. Pay attention to this. Generation X, they are very open to brand switching. That's very good. As long as you provide them some expertise. Okay, so when you're talking to a Generation X and they're using, let's say, a cleansing product, the aloe vera gel, or probably their favorite toothpaste or yeah, toothpaste, as long as you show them a proof, all right, a proof that it's very effective, and you show them the website, send them a website, or send them a list of our scientists behind our products, and tell them how long the company has been existing and how many users are for these products. You can open their mind into brand switching, and they're gonna be very, very loyal to that. So these are also good customers and good business partners as well. Now, in terms of business, if you want to talk to them, if you're new to this business, you can tell your upline or your direct mentor who has been with the business for, let's say, between 2 to 5 years to talk to them on your behalf. Use a third party because they will serve as an expert talking to these people. All right? Because Generation X, they listen to experience, to expertise. And this will help you close that person for a business or a product. Now, Generation Y or the millennials, they don't have brand loyalty. Well, most of them, not all. And they always rely on friends. That's why it's very tricky that probably if you're already doing this business for quite some time, you have millennial customers who just keep on switching. They use the tooth gel today and the next month they don't use it. So they're quite inconsistent with the products. But for a new millennial that you're talking to, when you offer them a brand, our brand, Forever brand, you can easily convince them as long as you can tell them that it's something that's recommended, or most of your friends are using it as well. All right. So how do you retain a millennial into being loyal to your brand? So once you have convinced a millennial to use our brand or to do our business, you have to immediately show this person that if you use this product forever, for a longer period of time, this will happen to you. Because switching from one brand to the other, this is the result. Okay, you will not see further the effects. For example, for skincare example, if you keep on switching your skincare every month, this can happen to your face. Or if you keep on changing from one company to the other, this is what will happen to you. You will not build a lifelong income. All right? And you have to keep your communication with these people because they tend to be influenced by their friends. All right? So just take care of them. Now, for Generation Z, they have a very good brand evangelism. So what does that mean? When you convince a Generation Z to start using your products or to start doing the business, they're the best marketeer. They're the best mouth that you have in your business. Because if they really, really find that it's a good product, they love it, they fell in love with it and trust it, they will be the ones who will just talk to everybody. They're very evangelical, you know, right? Like in church, when you evangelize somebody, you keep on sharing the good word. In the same way with our products and in the business. So these are really, really interesting people to have in your team. And they also follow trends. So you have, if you're talking to a Generation Z, you have to be somehow aware what's the trend. You can ask them, what are you looking for? And normally they'll tell you, I'm looking for this product that my friend used, and most of the people that I see in social media are using. Most of them will say that because they really follow trends. So if they're looking for a certain product that is on trend right now, look for that product that we might have a similar one in our product catalog, and you can offer that to them. So not unless they look for a very particular product they want, all right, you have to know what they want first before you tell them. And the more information that you give them, remember, you're talking to them through social media. The more information that you feed them, the more confidence they get, and make sure that they use the product and they fall in love with it, because they will do their own talking once they fall in love with the product. That's why Generation Z really, it's also a good market. Now, in terms of decision making, let's go back to Generation X. When they decide, let's say, to purchase a product or start a business, they would always include like a team. For example, if they want to join your business, they would include their close friends and bring somebody right away. Oh, you know what? I'm really close with this guy, and we've been talking about business for quite some time, what we do for our retirement. So we decided that we're going to do this together. It's normally like that. And normally they would bring people along with them. All right. So it's also good to work with Generation X. Now for Generation Y or millennials, it's team decided. They don't normally decide on their own. Most of them, they go for a second opinion. Like when you present to them the business or the product, they might say, okay, I'll just ask my family first, or I'll ask my friends if this is good, what they think of this. And then whatever the people surrounding that person answers, he or she will decide according to that. So it's always team decided. Now for Generation Z, I love this generation because they're very, very independent. They're sonar, they're individualistic, they can decide on their own. So if you present to a Generation Z, like I remember I presented to a Generation Z back in Dubai, very young, 19 years old, and I presented the whole business. She was so quiet, as if she is not listening, although she's paying attention from the look of her eyes. But after the business presentation, I asked her, so are you ready to start today? And then she said, yeah, I like it. I'll start now. So normally we think that this younger generation, they need to ask their parents, they need to consult somebody, but they're very independent. If they want something, they'll buy it on the spot. They'll join you on the spot. Okay? Now, next is the learning style. Generation X, they're independent in learning. For them, they don't want you like to sit with them and show the catalog, or or go through them to a training step by step. Most of Generation X, they want to learn independently. So for them, since they are very independent, it's advisable that you send them product leaflets, soft copies, or send them a link to a website that they can learn on their own. Usually, they'll also do their own research. So if they need an information, and if they recently joined you, or they haven't decided yet if they're going to join your business, send them information. They will read it. Trust me, they'll read it, because they want to research first and then learn the information. Generation Y or millennials, these are the people who are very collaborative and network. That's why they love group trainings. They love group events. And trainings like this, when they see that there's a lot of people learning with them, they love that. So always get them involved into a group, because they don't want that feeling that they're alone or overpowered. That's why you need to strengthen or fire up their collaborative spirit. While Generation Z, they are a pocket mobile internet based. So especially right now, it's a perfect time to coach a Generation Z if you have one in your team. They're not the type of people who will come to the office and then sit down for a training. No, they would love to learn everything in their hands because they love learning on their own as well, but via electronics or the internet. So these people are more visual and more, they love, if you see on top, they love videos. So if you could send them videos more on a product that they're still thinking to buy, or with the business, send them more videos to watch so that the information is at their hands only. All right. So I hope everybody's learning. We are just on our first slide. Can you please type 1? Just let me know that everybody's learning. Can you type 1? Okay, type 1. Right. Okay, great. That's a good sign. All right. So next. This is the last slide for the generation. Okay. Now you might this slide is for the people within these generations that is probably already in your team. All right. So this is how you're going to handle them and keep them active in your forever business. So for Generation X, again, these are people between 40 to 55 years old today. They are unable to work without technology. Okay, so that's good because even if they're on that certain age, they've already gotten used to using probably a laptop, or for them, learning is already part, technology is already part of learning. So they're very open. If you send them like a website to learn, or if send them like a material, it's good for them. Now, Generation Y, these are the millennials. For them, technology is unfathomable if not provided. That's why if you tell your team who is a millennial that we have a website that they could refer to, we also have a Forever app. If this person is using a C9, tell that millennial that we have a Forever Fit app, all right? And that all our materials can be provided through the internet. It's like a green signal for them. It's a go-go for them. And Generation Z, these people are mostly on the mostly on the internet. So they love online trainings. All right, so keep them hooked online. Now, learning format. For Generation X, these are people who are spontaneous and interactive. Because they are more experienced, normally they would give a feedback or talk about their opinions, and based from their experience, they're more outspoken, all right, because they think that they know something or that they can impart something, which is good because communication with your team is very important, right? You would love to hear more from your team member so that you know how to handle that person. And Generation X is just like that. Generation Y, or the millennials, are multisensory and individual. So if you want to keep a millennial in your group, make sure that person is using the products. Why? Because that's the sense of touch. The more that they feel the products, the more that they smell it, the more that they drink the aloe vera gel, and the more that they read about the product, the more that they learn, or more about the business, or the more that you include them in fun events like our online success days or online trainings, you can keep them in your team. Generation Z, however, is very student-centered. They're kinesthetic. So since they're the younger generation, they also love to learn, but they love learning through actions. That's why most of the Generation Z, if you're going to coach them, tell them the action plan. All right? Tell them the action plan. And let them, for example, you invited them to the business, let them practice by talking to people already or right away. Tell them, you know what, you can say this to your friends. This is how to invite. And set a goal tomorrow. Try to invite at least 5 of your friends, and we will show this product or show this business opportunity. Or, you know what, you can send this link right now, chat into their messengers, and let them watch this. So more action related, the more that they learn in our business. Now let's go to training. Training, Generation X, they are required to keep them. Yeah, because they're more on a procedure type of person. All right. They're more on like the corporate type of person. So for them, a good company has a good training, or at least a regular training. That's why involve them all the time in every presentations or anything that they can learn from trainings like this. Now, millennials, they are continuous and expected. For them, training is already normal, right? So they're just relaxed. They know that they can learn everything in the trainings. That's why you should let them know that if even if the trainings is present or it's already automatic, make sure that they're involved, because they tend to relax a bit if they know that the training is just present all the time. Okay? And Generation Z, it's not a little, they're very playful, they're kind of outgoing and fun. So make your trainings interesting for them, right? For them, something that will stir their creativity. That's something that would interest them and help them learn. Now, their training focus, Generation X is very practical, case studies, applications. Again, since they look for expertise, they look for facts, all right? You can tell them more about the company profile. These are real people with real results. This is what happened to your life. This is how it changed you. This is what happened to your skin, to your body, and then show some pictures, show some stories of your team, or let them talk to an experienced person or to different people, right? They love that. While millennials, they love hearing also stories. They're very emotional and participative as well. So what makes them drawn and motivated in the business is that they love most stories, something that is heartwarming or touching, something that is life-changing. That's why most of our team, I guess, are millennials. And most of them, if you tell them what made you join the business, it's because they heard somebody, the life was changed from this to this. Okay? So they love these. And Generation Z, on the other hand, they're very multimodal, e-learning, and interactive. So again, they can read, they can watch videos, but they're more on online. Okay, so they love to read on their own, watch on their own. So just send them some remarkable stories of how lives have changed, and then let them watch it in YouTube probably, or in an article. We have the Allo magazine. They read that as well. Now, next is becoming ideal leaders. So Generation X, these are coordination doers, meaning that they love working with you. If you have a Generation X, they will always keep in touch with you. And they will somehow tell you that they're doing this. They think that this will benefit their customers or their team. So they're very, very good with coordination. That's why it's really good to work with them. On the other hand, Generation Y, millennials, most of them are like leaders. So because at this era, there are a lot of positivity, motivational speakers, and it's more on they love group activities. So when you put them in a group training, you would see these millennials, they're very positive, they're vibrant, they try to influence each other, and that's really good as well. So with regards to teamwork, you can really rely on millennials. Now, next is Generation Z. They are inspiring co-creators. Hence, most of the Generation Z, they love to create probably their own posts. You can see that their Instagram posts are very colorful. They can think of a really catchy ad or a catchy post that can attract their customers. And since they're very creative, normally you can see most of them, they're on TikTok, they're promoting a product or the business via TikTok videos, and also via Facebook stories or Instagram stories. So in terms of creativity and initiative, Generation Z, they're already natural creators, all right? And to add to that, these are also the type of people wherein you can ask them opinions. Like if you want to get some good creative idea, they're also good people to work with. They know everything. I mean, they're very updated with the latest trend, so they can help you with what's in right now. For example, you want a presentation to look more exciting, you can ask for their opinions. Performance feedback. So, and leadership style, I'll combine these. So Generation X is more like a coach, yeah, because they're more experienced in terms of age. And for them, they like to hear feedback from you at least on a weekly or a daily basis. Because of course, remember in a corporate world where most of the Generation X are accustomed to, they're always getting feedback from their bosses like all the time, or they have KPAs, performance and achievements ratings. So they love that. But in terms of leadership, you can rely to them on being a coach. They're a very good coach because they love teaching and helping people through experience. Now, millennials, performance feedback on demand. Most of the millennials, this is what I noticed. Some of our millennial team, they get a little pressured. For example, if you keep on like boosting them, motivating them every day, or telling them this and that on a daily basis, normally they would love to hear it only if they want to, if they request to. But in terms of leadership, they always like to work with you, all right? So they always need a helping hand. So hold this kind of team members, never leave them alone, all right? And for Generation Z, again, they're very independent, so they're continuous social sonar. It means normally if you want to recognize them, like these posters that we use as a recognition, they love that because they're very electrosocial. They want to see their names on the social media. However, normally they don't need much of praises or feedbacks because for them, what they think of themselves is already enough or matters more than what uplines would think of them, all right? Because they're very independent. And leadership style, RSS protagonist, this is actually more on related to online, all right? So only whatever they catch online, that's the one that they want to share with their team, and they love communicating with their downlines or with their customers via social media. All right. So I hope you learned on the first part. These are very important. That's why we show this to you. So just a review because I think some of you came in late. Again, Generation X, born between this year, is 40 years old to 55 years old as of this year. Generation Y, or otherwise called millennials, are 25 to 39 years old. And Generation Z is the youngest generation right now, between 5 to 24 years old. Okay, so by knowing this, you would know how to approach them. Don't expect to prospect somebody or to invite somebody to a business presentation or Let's say you're talking to a Generation Z. Please don't send an email to Generation Z. They don't like that. You can immediately contact them via their Instagram or their Facebook. Or if you want to share information, don't give them a leaflet or a flyer physically. Send them a video. That's more effective. And on the other hand, if you want to talk to a millennial, they're always on Facebook Messenger. You can approach them to that. They're not more into emails, just some of them, but in general, they're not into emails anymore, unlike as Generation X, which is a bit of the older generation. All right. So the reason why this is important that we should know, because communication is key. If you don't reach the person in the right way, you cannot get them to join you or buy a product. Now, if you see here, this is statistics wherein the top platforms where your audience is spends the most of the time. So Generation Z, the youngest generation, spend most of their time in YouTube, Instagram feed, Instagram stories, and Snapchat. Millennials, however, YouTube, Facebook feed, and Facebook stories, which is the same as Generation X. And the baby boomer, which is way on the older side of Generation X, they love YouTube and Facebook feed. All right. So that's why if you want to attract a Generation Z, at least get an Instagram and post yourself using this product on your Insta story, or send them a YouTube video. The same way if you want to attract a millennial or Generation X. Now, how do these generations follow a brand? Generation Z, the youngest generation, they follow brands. They check them out in Instagram. Millennials on Facebook, and Generation X as well. Okay, discovering new products. Generation Z uses YouTube. They watch a lot of YouTube to discover new products, new trends. Millennials are more on scrolling in Facebook. And Generation X, they also love YouTube videos. But take note of this, when they make purchases decision, all of them watch in YouTube. Okay? So like for me, example, whenever I want to purchase a gadget, I scroll through Facebook because I'm a millennial, and then I spot a product, I find it's good, but I don't make a purchase yet. I usually watch a feedback or a review in YouTube. That's why YouTube links are also important if you want to convince somebody to buy a product or do the business. And here on the right side, 60% of Gen Xers prefer video when learning about a new brand or product. And 52% of Gen Xers, while 72% of baby boomers said video was most helpful when making a purchase decision online. Okay, so we have a lot of YouTube videos, YouTube accounts for Forever. There's Forever Living Products in Vimeo, Forever North America. If you log into our website, go to US as a country, go to the dashboard. There's a training, tools. There are a lot of videos there. That's why it's very important that you know where to source videos and information so that you can send it to that person depending on the generation they are. All right. Okay, so I hope you learned a lot from that. Can you please type 2 if you learned a lot? Okay, great. Is this helpful for your business? Type 2. Okay. Now, the next training is the 4-color personality. So the first training was more on communication, more on information that you would need to send a certain generation and how you get to catch their attention through probably social media, emails, or messenger. Now, next one is the 4-color personality. So this is the other part of our communication. So probably you are a millennial, but you are this color of personality. How do you want a person to talk to you? Would you like to talk to that person in a very demanding or aggressive tone? Or would you like to hear a very calm, soothing tone? All right. So this is the type of personalities that people have. Okay. All right. So number one is that according to Carl Jung, who discovered this four-color personality, that person is a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and he believes that the four-color personality will help us identify ourselves, at the same time identify the person we're talking to, which is our prospects, and how we will communicate with them to have that result. So what's the result that we usually want? We want the other person to buy the products, the Forever products, or we want that person to join our business. Now, number one is we need to know first how we see ourselves. So in this slide, according to Leonardo da Vinci, he said that all our knowledge has its origins in perceptions. On this slide, you can see it's a kitten looking at the mirror. So looking at this slide in itself, do you see yourself as a kitten or a lion? Can you please type it in the chat box? Are you more of a kitten type of person, more of the shy, reserved person, or you see yourself as a lion? You can do anything. You can talk to everybody. You can get things done. You have a very, very strong personality. That's great. Thank you, Jeng, Jigs, and Joel. Okay, that's good. So the reason why I asked that, because it's very important how we see ourselves. If we have that big confidence in ourselves and we know our attitude, our perception, we would know how to identify others and talk to them. Okay, on this next slide, what word can you see? Can you please type in the chat box? What is the word that you can read from here? Silk. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, there was a study that this slide was shown to a group of people. Even though it read as silk, some of the people who first read the word, they thought it was milk, M-I-L-K. So you can see the perception of people, right? Some would read this as silk, some would read it as milk. So again, perception is very, very important. Now, according to Carl Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So according to Carl Jung, we have our different personalities, and it's normally decided by our subconscious. It's at the back of our brain. So normally, how we talk to other people is our subconscious. Okay, so for example, I'm talking to a customer and I tell that person, you know what, you need to buy this aloe vera gel today. You need this for your health, or else you will get sick, blah, blah, blah. So I'm very, very aggressive. I'm very demanding. All right, that's my subconscious. For me, at the back of my mind, I think that this person needs a lot of help. And at the back of my mind, I feel that I'm very powerful. I can convince that other person. So until you know that what is at the back of your brain, or until you know what your perception and attitude is, in that way, you can be effective in talking to others. Okay. So skip that. So this is the four-color personality, which is according to Carl Jung. For him, there are 4 different types of colors. There is the cool blue, the fiery red, and earth green, and sunshine yellow. Okay. Now, number 1, I would like you to identify yourself which color you are. Let's start with cool blue. For people who thinks that this is their dominant color, this is mostly you are more of cautious, very careful, precise. You always want facts. Okay, so lady, you're cool blue. Thanks for that. You always want information and deliberate, questioning, formal. All right. So some of the people, if they're on Cool Blue, they want more information about the product. They want more information about the business. They need to think it over. All right. They don't want to get pressured because they want to think. They want to be very careful in making the right decision. Okay. Now, fiery red is very competitive, demanding, determined, strong-willed, purposeful. Okay, so Christine is fiery red, Joel is earth green. Okay, that's good. Fiery red, these are people like very aggressive. They want to be always recognized. They want to make the sale right away. They're very driven by their goals. They would take no for an answer. These are the people are like the go, go, go. They don't mind if that person tells no or rejects them. They have that very fiery energy. Okay, so they're very competitive as well. Earth green, however, is caring, encouraging, sharing, patient, relax. These people like to take time. They're more on, they want something for the greater good. All right? They're very calm when you talk to them. So if you're presenting to them, don't present to these people. If you feel that they're very calm, don't present to these people with a very high energy. They would be overwhelmed. All right. Now, sunshine yellow, these are sociable, dynamic, demonstrative, enthusiastic, persuasive. So they're more inclined to being in a group, belonging in a group, being in a team. All right. And they always feel that fun is a good drive for them. Okay. So thank you for your chats. So who else? Are you a cool blue, earth green, sunshine yellow, or fiery red? Are there any more who would like to share? Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's right. So Jeng, you're a mix of fiery red and sunshine yellow. Yes, that's true. So on these 4 quadrant, you're not actually one color only. You would have a dominant color. For example, you're more on a red, yet a subtle yellow. You can have a mix of that. So that's really possible. Now, that's on a good day. However, on a bad day, if you're a cool blue, you can be stuffy, indecisive, suspicious, cold, and reserved. Yeah. So cool blues, if you feel that they're a cool blue already, you need to avoid this type of bad day energies. All right. So normally if they feel that it's not quite right, they might act suspicious. Give them more facts, give them more information. Try to loosen them up in a bit if you're presenting to them. Fiery red, on the other hand, on a bad day, is very aggressive, controlling, driving, overbearing, intolerant. So since they're very energetic, they're very fiery, they're very fast, they're very quick. Okay, they can sometimes be too much. So if, for example, you're talking to a fiery red, or you yourself is a fiery red, you have to be aware of this. And if you're caught up in a situation where you need to calm down a little bit, you would know when to, because you can be any of this on a bad day. Now, earth green, like Joel, you can be docile, bland, plodding, reliant, or stubborn. Sometimes there are just days wherein you just don't want to go attend the training, or example, or you just don't want to learn, you just don't want to talk to people. All right. You can be just relaxed and you want to take your own self me time. However, sunshine yellow, they're excitable, frantic, indiscreet, flamboyant, and hasty. Since they're more of a fun, they can somehow be very showy at times, but they can be also very hyperactive in terms of super excited, right? On a bad on a bad situation or in an inappropriate situation. All right. So these are just energies on a bad day. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, but it can happen to you if you're part of these colors. So at least by knowing these, you would know how to control yourself, right? So by identifying yourself which color you are, on a good day and a bad day, you would know where to cut a line or to draw a line when it gets to that. Okay, so according to Carl Jung's preferences and the insights, cool blue is more of introversion or becoming introverted, and thinking style is task focused, calm under pressure, thoughtful, and objective. So if you have a team in cool blue, when you goal set them, for example, they want to become a manager, they're very calm under pressure. They're the type of people that you can actually put the pressure on, but still they remain calm on themselves that they can do it. And the more that you give them an action plan laid out, the more that they will be able to do that efficiently. All right. And give them space to think and learn for themselves as well. Don't be always on top of their head. Hey, you need to achieve manager today, tomorrow, by the end of this month. Don't be too much of a pressure on them because they love just being calm and by themselves. On the other hand, fiery red, they're very extroversion, like more of extrovert and think in high activity, working with others, being logical and focusing on facts. So these people, you would notice that fiery red, these people like every day they're very busy talking to different people, prospecting. They don't get tired presenting as long as they get their goals, right? So just the thing to guide them is that they can burn out themselves because they're very energetic, they're always on the go, they sometimes forget themselves, so they get burned out. So for them, give them a proper timeline, tell them that okay, you can spend these hours, but then give yourself at least a break, at least an hour or a certain relaxation time or time with your family, all right, because they're very goal driven. Earth green, on the other hand, again, introversion and feeling an approach favoring depth, reflection, harmony, and consensus. Okay, so since they're very calm, all right, they always reflect on their own, they always feel, they have their inner zen within them. Okay, so these people, you cannot put too much pressure, guys. They're very, very zen, and this one you need to handle with care. So if you're gonna go set, for example, you have a team member who is green, you need to put like steps for them to act and then follow up probably with them like in a week or so, then check them gently, tell them how they're doing. All right. So sunshine yellow, on the other hand, is extroversion and feeling, couples, sociability, and consideration for others with action, orientation, and entertaining. All right. So sunshine yellow, they're very fun, loving people. So they love having like team trainings, success days, event. They love team travels. You can motivate them on global rally, eagle manager retreats, stuff like that, and always involve them on team trainings, group trainings. All right. Okay. So take, for example, just to give it a final look on the differences. If going to an elevator, going up, let's say to their house, or in a hotel, if they're going to go back to their room, a blue, once they go inside the elevator, they will mentally calculate the combined weight of all passengers and compare to the maximum posted weight restrictions. They may wait for next elevator. Okay, so let's say they press the button, the elevator opens. Normally, they come inside, they look at the people around them, and then they look at the weight. Maximum weight is, let's say, 12 persons only. If they feel that there's a lot more than 12 persons, a blue will come down or come out of the elevator and then just wait, just next for the other elevator. Wait for the other elevator. That's a blue. They're very analytical. They always think, analyze. Red will go straight into the elevator and press the button repeatedly. Have you encountered this type of person? Somebody goes into the elevator and then just will press the floor again and again. It's like always on the rush, all right? Always in a hurry. That's a red. However, green, they actually uses the open door button to help others get in. Yeah, they're very helpful. So when they go inside and they see people hurrying up inside, he's the type of person who will hold the open button and let people come in and then assist them. Okay, so that's a green. Very helpful. Yellow, on the other hand, sees elevator as a great opportunity to catch up and chat with people. May hold door open to finish conversations with people who get off on other floors. Have you encountered this person? A yellow will go inside the elevator and will ask you, hey, how are you? Good morning. How's your day? And then they will probably greet you and notice your shirt, that it's nice. They will talk to you. So they're very, very friendly. All right? So I hope you can recognize the difference. So then again, there is a dominant color and there is a non-dominant color. So you can be a mix of any of these colors. So here you can see just a mix of colors on how they get things done. All right? So according to Carl Jung, everything that irritates us about others can lead to an understanding of ourselves. So the reason why this presentation was made for you guys is that you might probably be talking to a person and then you don't get the favorable response. Or sometimes you might question yourself, did I say something wrong? Why did he say this? Why not this? Or probably there's a surge of emotions that happen. Or probably you're irritated or just fed up talking to this type of people. All right? So whatever it is, it just goes to show the difference in your personalities. That's why when I showed you, if you're the 4 quadrants, you have to know which color you are on a good day and on a bad day. It's very important so that you know when to not get overboard. At the same time, you have to be aware of your prospect. If you're trying to invite a prospect via Facebook or via a call or via an email or whichever, you have to check first, what's the personality of this person? If this is somebody close to you, you would already know the personality. And you can twitch a conversation type or a content in your communication on how to talk to that person. On the other hand, if this is a cold market, a stranger, and you just saw in Facebook you want to recruit, check first the Facebook profile. What's in there? Does this person likes traveling or has a family? All right. And then by the way of talking to that person, you would know what type or color that person is. And then you would need to adjust to that person. All right. So remember, in our business, we need to get the results, which is having them join the business or having them purchase a product. And by being aware of yourself and that other person, you can make things easy. So what are the steps that you need to do in order to make an effective persuasion or conversation? Number 1, you have to understand yourself. Number 2, understand others, your prospects. Number 3, understand how to adapt and connect to that person. And step 4, take action. This is meaning you need to organize yourself and you need to send a message or talk to that person. All right. So for example, here, if that person is a red, make sure that if that's a red in your team, they love action plan, or if that prospect is a red, they love something that they would need to act on immediately, like share the products immediately or watch this training. And they love belonging to a system. So in our case, we are in a winning team and we have a system that we follow, even Forever Living product system. Set them goals. So let them prepare their own dream board. and share with them strategies. And these are the people most likely to start 2CC right away or join your business. The blue, on the other hand, since they love information, they love to analyze, send them websites, product knowledge, facts, real people results, newsletters or articles, share with them the information about the marketing plan or the company profile and company policy if they ask to. Now, green, they're very helpful people. They want something for a greater good. So normally, mention to them that Forever Living has a Forever Giving charity. And we also have a Rise Against Hunger. And in this business, they can help change people's lives. All right? So tap their emotions. And the yellow, share with them the fun that we have in this business. So share with them that we have group travels like Global Rally, Eagle Manager. We have team building, team trainings, online events like Success Day, and tell them that they belong to a group called the Winning Team. Because for them, a team or a group is very important. All right. So that's my part. I hope you learned a lot. Before I finish the presentation, I'll hand it over to Jeff. He will now tell you what's the next action plan after knowing this type of personality. So I'll transfer the mic.
All right, everybody, that is very powerful training, right? So I hope right now you know who are you and you know who are the future prospects ahead. So this is very important because we live right now in a world that you have to be knowledgeable with these things, and you have to understand that where people are coming from and how to maximize your meeting to them and how to approach them so you don't waste your time, you don't waste your effort, you don't waste your energy applying the wrong method of doing the training or doing the meeting or inviting them. Okay, so if you guys learns a lot in this meeting right now, and you want to share it to your team members that is not here in the meeting, we have a YouTube link that available in our Facebook group. So you can copy that link and send it to them so that they will know how to what you've learned tonight as well. So moving forward, let me just now you have identified that. So let me just help you move forward into the action plan. So what you have to do right now is to create a prospect list. So our prospect list, this is just one. I have my another prospect list in my another laptop, but we use Excel right now in our computer to run our prospect list. So it's very important to make your own prospect list right now. You can do it in a piece of paper or you can do it digitally. And there's also a way how to download your Facebook friends and turn it into Excel file. So all your Facebook friends will be in an Excel file. You can just go to YouTube and learn how to do that. It's very simple. Just type in YouTube how to download my Facebook friends. Okay, so then it will tell you. So a prospect list that has the name, then you have to categorize them. Okay, you have to filter them and what's how you're gonna approach them in this matter. Okay, this example. So let's say this guy Arti, he's an Indian guy. His nationality, his country of residence. Okay, his city is in the UAE, in Dubai. So remarks used to work in HR in Johnson and Johnson with a kid. Okay, managing her own business in India right now, or this guy is in India, building a great and long-term income. That's the hot button. How you will because he's a businessman, and approaching him in business, what you can tell that if they will add forever in their business, he's building another business without the problem of a traditional business. Okay, because if you are in the traditional business, you have a lot of problem. All the expense, things like this, all the government fees, all the employee things, okay, you will have a big trouble if you're doing that. So does he has money? If yes, put yes. Does he has authority? If yes, put yes. Does he has need? If yes, put it. Okay, where you will put it on priority? Priority 1. Okay, so contact 15 new people a day. That is you contacted on October 19. You put a remarks and what's the action plan. So from there, you know what I want, what we want you to do. Okay, so that's a very this is a very important thing to organize yourself and your business. If you don't have a prospect list, okay, you don't have a direction in your business. Okay, let's go on this. This Soya. This Soye. Okay, Soya is a Filipino from UAE, cities Dubai, lost the work, okay, looking for a job, has 2 children, low self-confidence, overweight. So the hot button is overweight. So no money, no credit card. So a need, yes, definitely with the need. It's a need of business or that. Then you will put it on priority number 4. So when you have a prospect list, you will start with your priority number 1. Priority number 1 are people who have yes in all aspects. Okay. So priority number 2, if they don't have authority, they will be there. Okay. Priority number 3, if they don't have money, if they don't have authority, they will be on number 3. Sorry, if they have money, no money, but with authority, they will be on number 3. And last but not the least, if you are on number 4, you have a lot of no's. That's it. We're not judging people here. We're just telling you that we're just teaching you how to prioritize people. Okay, so if you learn how to prioritize people, you are learning also how to maximize your time. So put in mind that you have to speak to 10 people a day. That's very important because that will put you on a proper scenario, that is your business is up and running. Just imagine if you're speaking to 10 people a day, you're communicating it. Okay, you're communicating Forever Living products, you're communicating our products, you're communicating our business to 10 people a day. You are engaging with 300 people in a month. Put that in 50% of people who will try and use the product. That will be 150 people who will immediately consume your product, our product. Okay, who will just purchase to try your products like that. And 20 to 30 people, 10% of the 300 will do the business. So if you're talking to if you're doing the action plan, you're talking to 10 people in a day, you're doing 300 a month, you have 30 new business partner in a month. So that's how you grow it. And you cannot grow your team in that span of time if you don't have a list. Okay, so make sure your list and your schedules, when a schedule is very important. Approaching Zoom meetings, doing Facebook calls, it's very important because in that sense, you're gonna book appointments with them, okay, according to what you learn psychology of prospects. All right, so with that, okay, we will be having a more conversation of this in next Friday. It's all about your prospect, so make sure you are tuned in same time, 2:30 p.m. in UAE, 6:30 in the Philippines, and 1:30 in Saudi Arabia. We will send you the link. Okay, so sorry, yeah, if you learn a lot, right now, let us know in Messenger, or let us know in the comment. You feel free also to share our YouTube link to your team, to your downlines, okay, so that they will be learning as well. With that, I would like to finish this presentation. It took us almost 1.5 hours to start, and I know it's very valuable, right? Okay, did you learn? Can you put thumbs up? If you learned, yay. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys for being with us, and see you all okay next Friday in our uh, Friday training, and we'll be finishing the month. This is our last week for the month. Guys, there will be a lot of changes happening in November. So if you're gonna take advantage of people who are novus, who wants to become an assistant supervisor in 15% discount, this is the time, this week. Because when they start November 1, it will be only 5%. Okay, so thank you guys because you've been with us. Okay, watch all the trainings upcoming this week. Thank you.